With this collider back in action, the more than 1,700 U.S. scientists who are now working on these experiments are prepared to join thousands of their international colleagues to study the highest particle collisions ever achieved, allegedly, on this planet. These collisions, hundreds of millions of them every second, will lead scientists to new and unexplored realms. Their words, not mine. It could yield extraordinary insights into the nature of the universe. The highlight of LHC's first run, which began in 2009, was the discovery of the Higgs boson, the last in the suite of elementary particles that make up the science's best picture of the universe and how it works. The discovery of Higgs was announced July 2012 by two experimental collaborators, Atlas and Alice and CMS, releasing the Titans. Hold on to that word, Atlas. I'm going to be going into that later. Now, continuing to measure the properties of the Higgs will be the major focus of this LHC run, Parte 2. The Higgs discovery, one of the most important scientific achievements of our time, apparently. This is running at quadruple the energies of the last one. Do you remember when they turned that on and there was that weird spiral in the sky and then an earthquake in, well, several places, but strategic places like Iraq and the gates of, well, actually the word is the gates of the universe in translation. The possibilities for new discoveries are apparently endless. Interesting term again. United States, again, being the forefront of these discoveries. These particles that we've talked about before will collide at a staggering 13, yes, 13, tera electron volts. That's TeV, which is 60% higher than anything ever even tried. The four major particle detectors, Atlas, CMS, Alice, and LHCb, will collect and analyze data from these collisions that everyone's warning about. Now, 7 U.S. Department of Energy national laboratories joined roughly 90 U.S. universities to build key components of this accelerator. And since these are the same people who made the nuclear reactors for the most part around the world, be afraid. I am concerned about CERN. They are making the detectors and the computing infrastructure with funding from the DOE, Office of Science and National Science Foundation. The U.S. contingent was part of an established 10,000 people with 113, interesting number, 10,113 different countries who helped with the design and the build and the upgrade of this new accelerator with its 4 particle detectors. They said that they are on a threshold of an exciting time. This energy regime will open the door to new discoveries about our universe that were impossible even 2 years ago. In addition to the scientists pushing towards these new discoveries and the 4 main experiments, the U.S. provides a significant portion of the computing and data analysis. Roughly 23% for Atlas, 33%, I I just love these guys. The number 23, which is incredibly esoteric, and the number 33 for the CMS. U.S. Science on Alice. A lovely book, Alice in Wonderland, which is about, pedophilia and drug-induced mind-altering states where you can be mind-controlled. These experiments developed and controlled tracking systems for the detector and made significant contributions in software and hardware and computing. Oh, I bet you did. U.S. scientists also help improve the trigger software for data analysis. I just love these guys. So, operating accelerators for the benefit of physics is what CERN's here for. Allegedly. So, LHC. Let's expose this crap right now. Using the Bible and several other resources here, Ephesians 5:11, have nothing to do with the useless work that darkness produces. Instead, expose them for what they say they are. The Stargate of Shiva. The Saturn and satanic CERN partial collider, and the occult 666 and pagan gods, and the old ones and the ancients. The statue of the pagan lord Shiva, the god of destruction, the destroyer himself at the CERN particle accelerator. I think at least hints at the release of the fallen, the angels, the Apollyon, the abandoned, Cthulhu, if you will, which coincidentally does mean destroyer, the destroyer. There are, of course, no coincidences here. Why would anyone put a religious statue of a Hindu god at a science place if they first of all didn't steal the science from there? Shout out to India. And the dark gods and the dark magicians, they knew what they were doing. Apollyon, the destroyer, and the bottomless pit, and the large CERN Hadron Collider. What I found kind of startled me. I found the town that this complex is situated is St. Genus Poli. Was in Roman times called Apollicum, a town, a temple being dedicated to Apollyon. Apollyon, Greek name, meaning destroyer, given in Revelations 9:11. Interestingly, for the angel of the bottomless pit, Hebrew called Abaddon, also identified as the king of the demonic locust, described in Revelations 9:3-10. One manuscript, instead of Apollyon, the text reads Apollo, the Greek god of death and pestilence, as well as the sun. And this place, when it's turned on, sounds like crickets. The Book of Enoch, which we have been kind of glimpsing over, and we'll get back to, says these 200 to 273, depending on which one you read, fallen angels, the Titans, are imprisoned in Tartarus for 70 generations. Generation in the Bible is about 7 years. This Tartarus also means the pit. It also at least alludes to underwater. The Titans are being imprisoned for about 5,000 years. Apollyon the Destroyer and the Bottomless Pit and the I Ching and the LHC. This is rituals that were performed in this place in Roman times, satanic rituals, if you will, interdimensional gateway rituals, because that's what they called them. Stargate, portals, end of an age, biblical prophecies, opening of the bottomless pit, the destroyer, over and over and over again. CERN is linked to several secret projects being carried out by the European Union and the United States, and the European Trilateral Commission. CERN is responsible for the Internet, and I've been doing research for governments with regard to global sustainability. That's what they say. It's reported that in 1999, CERN proposed and carried out quantum vortex experiments, searching for what they called solar axions. Axions are hypothetical particles that are components of dark matter itself. In order to find these axions, CERN proposed the use of a decommissioned magnet called, drumroll please, Satan, acronym for Solar Axion Telescopic Antenna. And one of the attempts at creating a portal anchor happened in an area where there is rumored to be an ancient stargate in the real Babylon, Iraq. The collective consciousness of the human race seems to be sensing an end to all things. Ancient prophecy is taken seriously by many to justify that feeling, the approaching end, and approaching something. We are just trying to make sense of this feeling. People, more so today than ever, I think, are also having a kind of lemming mentality. Do you know what I mean? Where more than ever we destroy ourselves with our various addictions and wars and other assorted destructive behaviors, too numerous to mention right now. So does the end of all things approach. I've studied prophecies from all over the world for a very long time. I was suckled on this, if you will, raised on it. Read stories about it from all over the world as a child before I could read myself. The biblical prophecies? Well, to me, I see predictive programming, but I see that some people from Africa knew what was going to happen and made sure everyone all over the world knew this would happen. And they're so right, even right down to the people living in this time. This know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of all things that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasure, more than lovers of God, having a form of godliness but denying the power thereof, and from such they will turn away. This is the state of the human race right now. I'm not saying that we are all the polluters, that we are all the haters, but we are not standing together and fighting them.